Welcome back to AM Northwest. You know, your thoughts have power both positively and negatively. Here to share wisdom teachings to live by on this Feel Good Friday, we welcome back our confidence coach, Laure Redmond.
Hello.
Laure, great to see you. Happy Friday.
Happy Feel Good Friday.
So let's talk about wisdom teachings. What does that mean exactly?
Well, these 5 things are often in my own life every day. I realize how much I could work on them, and I realize also they're helpful to talk about out loud, because if they come up in sessions, we're all on the same page going, that's hard.
Yeah.
Sounds easy, but it's hard. And yet if you think about trying to do each of these things, happiness comes through the experience.
Oh, sure. So the first one you say is think with a beginner's mind.
I'll try that with you right now, because I've been on this show for 22 years.
Wow.
That's so weird.
That's so weird.
But I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
This is my beginner's mind. If I don't know what we're going to do in this moment, I just feel more innovative. I feel more creative.
Oh, sure.
I feel more
it's not
present.
Rote. It's not, you're not saying the same things, doing the same thing over and over. Right?
Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen. And beginner's mind is really good to remember each day, because you might have done something, but it won't be the same today.
Yeah.
Or as an artist, when you see there's a big canvas in front of you. You might want to paint something, but until you start, you don't know what's going to come out.
Right.
When
That's
I
true.
dance, I'm very much in beginner's mind, writing. But sitting here with you, I don't know what's going to happen. It's live.
We never know. We never know.
We don't know.
Okay. And then there's tape that shows us later.
Yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
so refrain from complain.
Yeah, have you ever heard about a negativity bias? It's when someone is always using the negative experience to speak from, whether it's a person, a place, a thing.
Yeah.
And when you really create the consistency in that, that is all the brain will do, is create the negative bias.
See, I think that's an inherited way of speaking that people get from their parents.
I do too.
And it's habit. It's just they do it over and over and over again.
The habitual nature.
Yeah.
And so then all of a sudden you're not even seeing the sunrise or the sunset or the flower or
They
hear
see
the
it
bird.
as the glass is half empty all the time.
All the time.
Yeah.
So the way you work with this is just to try to notice when you do it, and then stop for a moment and create in the brain either a neutral or a positive person, place, or thing.
Oh.
And do that for 30 days. And
Okay.
if you're involved in a conversation and your friend is negative, go silent. Get up from the table. And just really put distance between the negativity thought and your own experience, and see what happens after a month. It's so interesting.
Yeah.
Stress levels go down.
Yeah, I don't think you realize what you're doing until you have to consciously think about it, or someone tells you. Yeah.
Exactly.
Compare and despair.
This is often a female problem, but I hear it with men too. It's always thinking about either your former self when you were thinner, younger, smarter, or someone else doing something better than you.
Oh, right.
So it can be your own compare and despair,
Right.
or other. But it never does encourage what you're capable of. So your most authentic self can never be what it is in this moment. It's your moment of being who you are, and there's no one like you, and there's no one that will ever be like you. So if you can cultivate more of your own voice, you will allow others' voices to be also safe.
Right.
It doesn't have to be their better than.
Right.
So I love not thinking about my younger self. I think that's where I notice the comparison in my own thinking.
No, I hear you there.
But
yeah.
with others as well.
Yeah, I gotcha. Resentments are burning embers, you say.
And they burn you. So
Yeah.
I just think resentments are one of the hardest things to get over. But they're like a rock that you carry on your back. So to drop the rock of resentment usually takes a great effort, but it's worth it. It doesn't just clear because time passes. You have to do the work of forgiveness.
I was going to say forgiveness must be in this.
It's
Yeah.
big and
Yeah.
it's hard, but actually it's possible to get rid of resentment. And when you do that, you feel like someone gave you a new life.
Right.
It is a new life to get rid of resentment. But many people want to blame others, and as long as you're blaming, you're going to carry the rock. So
Yeah.
you want to drop the rock, and the rock is droppable, but you have to work at the effort of that.
You say love as a verb.
Love is a verb. You know, most people think love comes to them from another source, another person, but it's this self-love, this self-care that actually creates a compassionate heart, and then that brings in love. But most people want love to come to them, and they don't realize that it's something you do here inside of yourself every single day.
Right.
And the more you cultivate that, the more love that will be all around you and towards you. But it is a verb. It's not something that just happens. It's something you do.
I think we've talked about in the past where you can't really fully love somebody else unless you love yourself, right?
Yeah, and yet so few people really embrace what that means.
Right.
That means you get to work on you as a love source,
Right.
not other loving you. And it changes the way you receive and give to understand that.
Yeah.
But it's often misled through the media or movies or
Right.
Pretty Woman, that
Yeah,
film. I
gotcha.
see that film, I'm like, this has
No.
ruined all of us.
Yes. Laura, thank you so much. Have a good weekend.
You too, happy Friday.
Happy Friday. And we'll be right back with more AM Northwest. Don't go away. Gotcha.